Rides Homestead. This morning I'm going to share with y'all how to harvest and dry herbs the old-fashioned way without a dehydrator, and also share a tutorial of how to make our favorite bread recipe. So let's go get started in the herb garden. So this is our little herb garden. Today I'm going to be clipping some spearmint, a little bit of sage, and some parsley. When you're harvesting herbs for the leaf, you want to be sure to clip them before they start flowering. If they get flowers before you harvest them, it can affect the taste and just make them kind of bitter. Parsley, and as you can see, it already has some small flowers on it, so I'm just going to kind of leave those pieces alone and not clip them to dry. Plant here is chamomile. I just planted it not too long ago, so it doesn't have any flowers yet, but it's a good example of an herb that you harvest the flower. So with chamomile, you want to wait, it'll get little white flowers on it, and then you would just clip them off to harvest. So in just a minute, I'm going to show you how to wash and hang these herbs to dry, but right now I want to go ahead and get started on our bread. In a large bowl, combine 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 3/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast, and 1 cup of hot water. Let it sit for about 10 minutes until you see bubbles like these. Next, add 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 cup of olive oil. You can also use coconut oil or butter, but I prefer olive oil. Just mix that together, and then it's time to add the flour. For this recipe, you're going to use 3 cups of all-purpose flour or bread flour, adding them one at a time. I usually use a fork to mix in the first 2 cups of flour, and then when I add the third, I'll go ahead and start kneading with my hands, just because it starts getting thick and harder to stir. Knead the dough for about 5 to 7 minutes. At first it'll be very sticky, but after the first couple of minutes it will start to get smooth and pull the flour from the sides of the bowl. You can sprinkle in a little extra flour if needed. When you're finished kneading the dough, shape it into a ball, cover it with a kitchen towel, and set it aside to rise for an hour and a half. While we wait for the dough to rise, let's go ahead and wash and hang up our herbs. You want to rinse the herbs under cool water to help preserve the flavor, and just be sure you get off any bugs or dirt that might be on the leaves. Once the herbs are washed, just use a towel to get off some of the excess water and bunch together a few stems and tie with string. Hang the herbs upside down in any spot where they can stay for a few days to a couple of weeks until they're dry. Drying times vary with different herbs. This is some oregano that I already had dried, and I'm just going to pinch off the leaves and store them in a mason jar. You want to be sure that all the moisture is completely gone out of the leaves and stems before you store them, to be sure the herbs don't mold in the jar. So the bread's been rising for about an hour and a half, and it looks like it has about doubled in size. So we're just going to go ahead and punch it down. It's actually really fun. And then you want to knead the dough for about a minute to 2 minutes.
So you're just gonna put it in the oven after this?
No, so it still has to rise for another hour. I have to put it in the pan, cover it with saran. So just kind of shape it into what looks like a small loaf of bread. Put it in the pan. Cover the dough with saran wrap and set it aside to rise for another hour. Preheat your oven to 350, and when the dough has about doubled in size, usually an hour later, place it in the oven and bake for 25 minutes. When the bread is done, take it out of the oven and place it on a cooling rack. Let it cool in the pan for about 20 to 30 minutes, then take it out of the pan to cool the rest of the way before slicing. Tonight, I seasoned some chicken with some of the dried herbs and just pan-fried it in butter. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to subscribe to our channel. You can also go follow us on Instagram at The Crossroads Homestead. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.